Good morning, I am Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you. Going to spend some time talking to you about you and your business. Got a lot to cover on today's program, so I'm going to get straight to it with the one and only Paddy Spence, a great friend of this program. I consider him a great thought leader in the business world and really in the health world as well, with his product called Zevia, which I keep myself well stocked in Zevia. And in fact, recently I was at a grocery store and noticed they didn't have Zevia, and it was a store that it's kind of a small store here locally that tries to pride itself in having healthy products, and it was so hilarious. I mentioned to the person there, hey, why don't you have Zevia here? And they had me talk to the manager who was working, and the manager said, hey, you're the guy I heard talk about this product. Because I do talk about it. I talk about it on the radio, and every chance I can get Paddy on, I get him on. We talk about it in the social media. A few years ago, I was extremely sick. I had serious health issues, and my doctors, in fact, I had multiple doctors involved independently at various steps, because, you know, when you get the prognosis or the treatment that they were suggesting was really draconian, I went to multiple doctors, but I tell you, they all agreed on Zevia. You know, Kevin, if you like your soda, because my lifestyle with me not having a lot of the fun foods I was enjoying before, they said, well, one of the fun things you can keep is soda, but it needs to be in the form of Zevia, not just any product with stevia in it, but specifically Zevia. And the reason why they do Zevia, they do soda right. And it's been transformative. You know, I weigh an ideal weight. My health is probably the best it's been in 20 years, and I attribute it to a lot to Zevia and the lifestyle change that came with it. So, and keeping my enjoyment when it comes to drinking soda. Man, that's so important when you're giving up so much. So, Paddy Spence, with that huge introduction, welcome back.
Well, thanks, Kevin. It's great to have me on. And, you know, as you mentioned, I think a lot of your listeners are probably struggling with the same things that you and I have, which is we get so much sugar, added sugar from processed foods in our diets, a lot of times without even knowing it. And then, you know, we don't want to be consuming artificial sweeteners with every meal that are in diet soda. So if you want that enjoyment that comes from soda and the bubbles and the great flavors, you know, there really haven't been a lot of options that have worked with a healthy diet. And I think, Zevia really kind of pioneered that. And as you know, over 90% of Americans drink soda. So if you could have a soda that had no calories, no artificial sweeteners, no sugar, no impact on your blood glucose levels, it sounds like an amazing solution, doesn't it?
It sounds like a miracle. Let me tell you, all the people out there are going, yeah, I'm getting that in my Diet Coke or Dr. Pepper or whatever. You're also getting all kinds of chemicals, and you're not getting Zevia. And, you know, it tastes chemically, in my opinion. This is really a natural flavor. It doesn't have that kind of punch that I think is negative that sugared sodas have. You know, other words, cane sugar sodas have, or high fructose syrup sodas. It's a natural sweetness. I don't know how else to describe it, and there's no bitter aftertaste that is characteristic of your other sodas that are so-called sugar-free. You know, and frankly, for the literature out there, you're trading one demon of sugar for another demon in sugar-free sodas, the vast majority out there, some of which they think might even have neurological implications. I mean, this is crazy, especially when you have an option like Zevia.
Yeah, and that's exactly right, Kevin. And you know, for folks who don't know, stevia is a plant in the sunflower family. Its leaves are 200 times as sweet as sugar, and yet it has no calories and no impact on blood glucose. So it's an amazing solution for folks that, as you said, are looking for that sweetness without the artificial sweeteners, the chemicals made in a lab. And you know, it's only been in the last 6 or 7 years that in the United States, stevia has been sold as a sweetener. It's been used for hundreds of years in Latin America, and the government declared it a sweetener in 2008, and it's really changed a lot. And we're fortunate to be able to, you know, be the first and the leading soda using stevia. And as you said, you know, we're broadly available now. We're in over 15,000 stores, and about half the grocery stores down in your neck of the woods carry our product. So, really changed a lot of people's lives, and I'm thrilled to be on here spreading the word.
Yeah, absolutely. When does Zevia come out?
Zevia was started actually in 2007, just before the FDA declared that stevia was safe for use as a sweetener. So it's been a busy time, and when you're fighting against amazing, iconic brands like Coke and Pepsi and Dr. Pepper Snapple, it's certainly a daunting task. But at the end of the day, it's the passion of our fans, folks like you, who really are looking for a solution that they can feel good about consuming, and that's what's really driven our brand to grow at the rate it has.
Yeah, it's a fantastic brand. And so you guys made it even before approval. Was that because of optimism, or were you going to just pursue other markets where it was pursued?
Well, it was largely optimism. I mean, you could use stevia back in 2007, but you had to label your product as a dietary supplement. And if you were to go to a health food store back in those days, you could find the ingredient, but it would be with the supplements, with the vitamins and stuff. And clearly, I think the government finally took notice with all of the health studies and the data that came back that said, you know what, this is not only a safe sweetener, but probably the safest one out there in terms of health impact. So, that made a huge change. And since 2008, this ingredient has just grown explosively around the world. And we're now finding that most of the countries around the world regulate and use stevia as a sweetening ingredient.
I bet it got a lot of resistance from the synthetic sweetener crowd.
Well, what's been interesting is that, yes, initially, but then if you can't beat them, you join them. And so many of the companies that have been involved in artificial sweeteners in the past are now jumping on the natural sweetener bandwagon with stevia. So it's an amazing ingredient, as I said, and it's being used more and more in a range of packaged goods products, not just in soda, but we're seeing it in yogurt, we're seeing it in chocolate, we're seeing it in other products that tend to be high in sugar. The one I'm waiting for is the stevia ketchup, because ketchup, a lot of folks don't know, is loaded with sugar and calories.
Yeah, no question about it. By the way, at the same time as we say this, revolution is taking place with stevia. I say, buyer beware. One of my doctors was very pointed about it. He said, just because it says stevia on it doesn't mean it's a good, or stevia rather, just because it says stevia on it doesn't mean it's a true stevia product. There's a lot of people out there that, because they're trying to cut corners, trying to save money, that they'll put dextrose and other type of unhealthy type sweeteners in there with the stevia in order to save money. But you guys, he said, that to the best of my knowledge, you said you're the only true stevia soda.
Well, that's exactly right. I think, what a lot of folks look at is, gosh, how can we reduce sugar? And so we're hearing a lot nowadays about these introductions of what they call mid-calorie products in the soda category. So Coca-Cola with some stevia and some sugar, or some high-fructose corn syrup and artificial sweeteners. And, at the end of the day, Kevin, a lot of consumers, just aren't satisfied with that solution. And for the full-calorie folks, it doesn't taste like a full-calorie soda. For the folks like you and me who are looking for healthier solutions, do we really want 60, 80, 100 calories in a can? And so you're exactly right. Sometimes people use stevia, and that's kind of their marketing hook, but they got a lot of other bad ingredients in there. And you're going to find with Zevia, we're a zero-calorie soda with no artificial sweeteners, and that's everything we do.
That's fantastic. Running out of time. I read recently over at our news website, U.S. Daily Review, that you're now a product at the Oakland A's. You were at the Oakland A's, and they're having a pretty awesome year, by the way. I'm going to attribute part of that to Zevia.
Well, yeah. I mean, the A's are a scrappy, unconventional team. They're kind of the Zevia of baseball, and they were very forward-thinking in putting our product in the stadium. And as you know, baseball's a family sport, so we're selling a ton of product in the stadium there, and it's, I think it's the first of many Major League Baseball parks and venues like that where you're going to see our product, because people are looking for a healthier soda at the ballpark, when they go to the movies, when they go out to eat, etc.
Absolutely. We need that over here at the Astros.
Exactly.
We definitely need to do that there. Well, thanks so much. Again, Paddy Spence, he is awesome. His product is is Zevia. The soda is amazing. How many flavors do you guys have?
We have 15 flavors, Kevin, and for folks, your listeners who are interested in learning more, you can go to our website, Zevia.com, Zevia, and check out our Better For You sodas.
Yep, and when you go to the grocery store, it's now, like you said, in almost every store I go to. This recent incident, I guess it was about a month or so ago, I was surprised they didn't have it because I am seeing it more and more. If you go to a store, ask for it, and if you don't see it, ask them to start ordering it because they need to have it in their store. They need to be a good store for their consumers, and offering great products like Zevia is doing just that. Paddy Spence, as always, thank you, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Kevin. Take care.
Well, when we come back, much more. We do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com, and this is The Price of Business.